Be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy only when others are fearful. Warren Buffett.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Mentality. It's your boy Gambo, and as always, I'm here with Simmons. Today, we're discussing the implications of the Rona. How has COVID-19 affected our lives? What should we do to stay safe and be healthy? And what should we also do in the financial markets to make the best and smart decisions in these uncertain times? Stay tuned as we chop it up in another interesting episode. Welcome back to the show, guys. My man Drew, how you feeling today?
I'm chilling, bro. I'm alive, healthy. Can't complain.
I feel you.
How you feeling, man?
Hey, man, same. You know, got the health, alive, got a job, income, all of that. So I can't even complain at all. Wanted to talk today about the implications of the Rona, and seeing that you are, you know, in the medical field and I'm also in the financial field. I just thought we might be able to shed some light on, you know, things that we're doing right now to kind of protect ourselves and looking forward to the future. And hopefully we could share that and so people could get some kind of value from that. Now, with that being said, what have you been doing in this whole time, and what is your outlook of this whole COVID-19 situation?
Wash your hands is first and foremost. I can't stress enough. Wash your nasty ass hands and take care of yourself. Like, we have these things in place for a reason. Don't be going places you shouldn't be going. Stay at home if you can. If you're blessed enough to still have some income coming in, and there's one less thing to worry about. You paid to stay at home. Fucking work out. Start eating salads. Drink smoothies. Try something new. Wash your hands. And stay out of people's fucking faces. 6 feet. Back up. Everyone needs that bubble. We needed this shit before the Rona. We're going to need it after the Rona. Stay out my bubble. I stay out your bubble.
Word. No, but so you mentioned like eating smoothies and shit. I don't know if you trolling or if you being dead ass.
I'm being dead ass because think about it. Everything that's going in the smoothie, it's all good for your immunity. It's going to boost your overall health. I need a smoothie right now. Shit.
Oh, brothers out here dying and shit, dog. You better calm that shit down.
Rona, no.
Yo, stop playing, though. That shit's not a joke. It's crazy, though, because, like, I was actually, like, watching a couple, like, you know, articles, like, watching a couple news articles and stuff like that, and, it seems like the black community is just kind of, like, getting decimated, bro. Like, what the fuck? I mean, obviously, we know the Rona's not virus, it's not racist or nothing, so what the fuck is going on?
This motherfucker's access to proper medical care and procedures and access to testing. If you don't have insurance, them tests are fucking expensive. And the treatment plans are 3 times more expensive than that. So, of course, you're going to have populations that are getting hit way harder, way harsher. That, and also, black people got more people living in the house. You got moms here, probably got dad, few brothers, sisters, maybe your cousins coming through for a little bit, might stay with grandma. People just live with each other. It's cheaper. And it's a shitty thing for something good that was trying to be done by having everyone live with you, you know, save money, be close to your family and shit. But now one person's exposed, and now everybody's exposed.
Yo, that's big facts, though, because I mean, I'm thinking, like, when I was growing up, we living in the projects, it's like 8 heads in, like, a 2-bedroom apartment. Like, you feel me? Like, it's like 4 dudes in one room, 3 dudes in, like, you know, at least, like, 2 people in one room, and you got, like, 2 in the living room, and it's, like, dumb crowded. So I think it's kind of interesting that you point that out because, like, we're kind of starting to see, like, the veil kind of being, like, taken out of, like, you know, what we classify to be equal opportunity in the U.S. at least. Like, yeah, we have, you know, good opportunities, which is cool, but I think there's still a lot of systemic, you know, residual that's, like, trickling down, and this virus is kind of, like, showing some of that. I don't want to make it, like, a race thing, like a race virus, but I think it definitely bears witness that we are witnessing some of the issues that's still in this country, which is kind of crazy.
You might have to call a spade, man. If you say something, because that's really low-key what it is. That's why I got so bad in Italy, was because everyone in their families, they all live together.
Yeah.
Close quarters. That's just how they are. That's how they are. But here, a lot of people don't have a choice. We kind of have to live like that. And it's shitty because we have to live like that, and oftentimes we don't have jobs that provide health insurance, or it's tooth and nail getting the health insurance companies to pay out for this shit.
Word.
And then even then, if you want to go get tested, you really can't, because if you go to the hospital, you're definitely going to catch it by the time you get there.
Damn. And that's crazy too, because like I feel like in the hood, it's like less access to hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got a
These
clinic,
motherfuckers
maybe.
don't want to go.
True that.
They don't want to go on a day-to-day basis anyway. Now they know everyone who has Rona is going to the hospital.
Right.
I'm not going in there because I'm going to definitely get it.
Right. That's crazy. So you in Germany, actually. Can you talk to me about what's going on in Germany? I know they're supposed to be like reopening the economy a little slowly in Germany at the moment, but I don't know how it's really going right now.
Yeah, so yesterday they allowed shops up to 800 square meters and smaller to reopen. Um, I didn't notice anything today because everything's closed on Sundays in Germany anyway. So Monday, I'll start looking out to see what's actually open back up and stuff. But Germany as a whole has been very nonchalant compared to other places. They've given the less fucks out of like every
Really?
other place that I've seen so far. Yeah,
You think it's the people
Yeah.
or you think it's the government? Because I know Angela Merkel was
It's the
like
people.
yeah, I was about to say she's the goat.
it's the people. She was like, "Nah, stay home," and then she also was like exposed to it. I think at some point too.
Oh wow.
Everyone else is like, man, fuck that. that's one of the things about Germans, man. They are just like they all like just set in their ways. They just real like, fuck it. This is what I'm doing, and this is what it is. If I get sick, I get sick. It's whatever.
It's funny though, because I feel like that's how it is a lot of times here. Like I knew for sure it's gonna be so bad here because of our habits. Like if you look at a country like China, where they could literally mandate to say, "Hey, y'all need to stay the fuck home." People gonna stay the fuck home. Whereas like in
yeah.
the U.S. or like in a democratic country, where it's like, yeah, y'all should stay home, but we can't really force y'all to stay home, but y'all should probably stay home. It's like people are like, nah,
Bro, there
fuck
was protesting today in Texas.
I saw
Or
that
protesting
shit.
yesterday, yeah. There was protesting. It's crazy. Like my body, my right type shit.
Yes.
Where was you 7 months ago? My body, my rights. And you fucking getting
Yo.
abortion laws reversed and shit.
Florida
Yes.
reopened beaches, and I'm like, what the? I'm sorry, I might be wrong. I think they're planning on reopening beaches soon, but
They
either way,
opened them up
It's gonna happen.
and they made the WWE an essential
Business.
workforce. Yo. They give no fucks.
Yo, Florida man is a real fucking thing, yo. I hope the people
Florida
out in Florida
man
stay
be out
safe.
here, bro.
Jesus. All right, man. Back on this whole Corona shit. Just to get, like more on the medical side of it. Like, so what do masks really help? Because I'm hearing like conflicting stories about that. Like, wear that mask or don't wear that mask.
So wear the mask because legally you have to. And again around that shit.
True that.
But
boy.
the mask is not, spoiler alert, the coronavirus can get through whatever you're putting over your face. I'm just telling you. There's maybe like 5 masks out there that will stop the virus from getting into said mask. And I promise you, you don't have it. If you made a mask or you bought that shit from Walmart, that's not the one.
I bet.
Spoiler alert.
The mask, I always understand it is supposed to be for you to help stop help stop the spreading of the virus. It definitely doesn't help you not get it though, right?
You're not gonna not get it because you have a mask.
Right.
You will help mitigate the spread. If you're coughing, because like think about it, like when you cough in your arm, okay, your arm, you're covering it, but like it's spraying off the top and bottom of your arm anyway. Like it's still getting out there. So the mask definitely helps the spread of whatever germs you're spewing out. So it's also a good psychological thing. Because I was at the laundromat, everyone had their mask on. This chick came in without a mask, and I was like, "Oh, bitch, you better put that shit on. What the fuck are you doing?" And I know like this shit don't do nothing for you anyway, but it's like it's that psychological thing of like everyone in here is that much percentage safer by wearing it.
Right. I think that's a good point. And I think it's funny too that because you see like a lot of people like people don't cough anymore. Like if you have a thought of coughing, nigga, you not doing that shit.
Yo, I'm in the mall sweating. You trying to like hide that because you're like.
I saw this meme when
They
the boy was on a
gonna
news
break their
anchor
necks.
and he was on a news anchor and they were talking about COVID-19. I think and he had to cough. Boy, he tried to hold that shit in so hard. He still coughed. It was just so fucking funny. Like, but I think that's a good point. But moving along to, how do you think? And I really do believe that I personally believe that there's gonna be a lot of habits that change because of this whole situation. How do you think that's gonna affect us?
This is a version of our new normal. We're never gonna have like you won't have like, well maybe America because they're like real keen right now on like getting back to how things were. So like might speed that up a little bit, but The social distancing, the hand washing stations, hand sanitizer everywhere, the masks even, that's not going away for no time soon. I think the mask will go away before the hand washing and shit. I hope the hand washing shit stays because motherfuckers do not wash their hands on a daily basis anyway. It's
True that.
disgusting.
True that.
So this is definitely it's just how things are now. We'll talk about back in the day where you could just fucking cough in your arm and go back to cooking in the kitchen and shit at a restaurant. Like, nah, B, stay your ass home.
Facts.
Hopefully, out of all of this, companies will realize, hey, or the government will realize, hey, healthcare is kind of like a right and not like a luxury, and it should be given out to like pretty much everybody, if not everybody. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I'm just
No, that's a
wishful
good
thinking over
point.
here.
I think that's a solid point. I definitely agree that it's going to change things. I was actually like listening to an interview Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, was talking about, and he kind of mentioned that like before, like basically countries or the world has to kind of go through these like crazy shocks in order for like massive changes to kind of happen. They don't always have to go through them, but whenever that happens, it definitely like does spark change. And he was kind of giving the example of like before 9/11, if you had told people that you would have to like take your shoes off, take your belt off, you know what I mean, like do all these fucking crazy security measures before you get on the fucking plane, people would probably think you was fucking crazy. But the fact that 9/11 did happen and we had to kind of mitigate some of those risks that like that were associated with it, now you see that becoming like standard and normal procedure. You don't even think twice about it anymore. You go to the airport, you already know what the fuck you already know what you're in for, so you're just gonna do it. So I agree. I
I'm
think
gonna get on my
that's
plane, right?
yeah, word. So I think that's definitely a good point. And I do agree with you. I think like in terms of washing hands, like yeah, like people don't do a good enough job of washing their hands. Niggas don't be washing their thumbs and shit. Like, bro.
Nah, they get a little water on them, shake it off. You sick fuck. Ugh, God. You don't bust some suds on that shit, you nasty bastard. Oh God, I can't stand. So I'm a nurse, if y'all don't know. We have a whole 2-day class on washing your hands and shit.
Damn.
I can't do it otherwise. Now I scrub my shits clean, and no one ever does it anywhere I go. It's disgusting.
That's crazy. Like, what kind of shit do they tell y'all about, like washing your hands and shit? Like,
Bro, we had a whole class where we bust out the UV lights and a special powder or like special cream and shit. You rub the cream on, you turn the light off, and your hands just light up. And they're like, all right, go wash your hands. Everyone comes back. And you put the light back on, everyone's hands is still fucked up. Like, y'all nasty as hell. 'Cause y'all don't be
damn.
washing your hands right. They gave us the whole spiel. You gotta do 2 minutes, happy birthday to you, all that good shit. And it takes a long time for your hands to actually be clean from washing them. You got to scrub. You need friction. You need good amount of soap. Rinse them off. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole process to it.
Right.
It doesn't take that long, so do it. That's the best disease prevention method that anybody and everybody can and should do is wash your nasty ass hands.
Well, what about that in comparison to hand sanitizers?
Hand sanitizer will work minimally, very minimally. So like they teach us about that as well. When you come into a patient's room, you have to gel in. You have to use hand sanitizer. You can only do that 3 consecutive times before you have to wash your hands. Why that is, there is a scientific reason for it. I don't know it off the top of my head, but I know that I have to wash my hands after 3 times of using hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer will work enough to get you to hand washing, but nothing will trump just washing your hands.
And I've always heard there's like talks about using antibacterial soap versus non-antibacterial. I've heard like it pretty much doesn't really matter.
Nah, because the soap itself is what's getting all the gunk and stuff off your skin.
Right.
Like it's gonna get the bacteria off. The antibacterial is a way to get you to spend more money.
Damn. Yeah. Speaking of that, it's actually a good video on Vox where they talk about like washing your hands. If you haven't seen that yet, I'd recommend everyone checks that out. This shit is like pretty much everything that you're saying. You know, with the UV light, and they show you what's really going on. I thought it was pretty profound. But I also want to ask about. I don't know what it's like in Germany, but I know here like the hospitals are being overrun. So like the whole idea of like people social distancing and staying home is to pretty much like flatten out the curve in terms of like, you know, the amount of people that would be flooding hospitals and kind of like spreading the virus. So what do you make of that?
So it's not so much that the hospitals are overrun, it's that the access to the care is limited because we have to maximize manpower to treating very contagious patients. We don't want it to spread more than it already has.
Gotcha.
So normal day-to-day services are put on the back burner in lieu of having to treat all these patients, which is just a way we have to allocate resources. That's just the best we're doing with what we got. But it's
Right.
shitty because if you break your leg through no fault of your own, now you have to take away care from someone that could be helping someone not spread the disease to 20 more people, and now you also expose yourself.
Facts. Yeah, I think we were having a conversation. I was telling you that Nelson, who's a mutual friend of both of ours, who's also a nurse in the States, was telling me about how basically they had a patient come in, and the patient didn't have the coronavirus, but they came in for something completely different. They needed a procedure done, but because of how many people were in the hospital, and not really necessarily because the people that were in the office hospital, but mainly because of all the procedures that they had to kind of follow as nurses and doctors now because of the coronavirus, they had to like follow certain precautions, and by the time they could get to like that person's procedure, that person pretty much like died. And I was like, holy shit. Because now you have people dying, not necessarily from the actual virus in and of itself, but pretty much indirectly. And I'm like, oh shit, that's kind of scary.
That's why to be like coronavirus is not just for old people, man. It's for everybody. Old
Right.
and young can get it directly and indirectly.
And the crazy part too is like, I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely a part of this, and I was joking before. I was like, oh, the coronavirus, niggas ain't getting no coronavirus, man. We not, you know what I mean? We not gonna be touched by that shit. It's a white people virus, and I didn't necessarily say that, but like in my head, I'm like joking. I'm like, look at Africa, look at all the Caribbean countries. Don't nobody got no, you don't hear like Atlanta having outbreaks and shit like that. And
Give it 3 days.
lo and behold, we are literally the most hit community. So please, I know we are stubborn. I know we're hard headed. Like I got cousins in Harlem who don't give a shit. Who people are just going out and about. Just be careful, man. Just please stay home and wash your damn hands.
Wash them nasty ass hands, man. I can't stress it enough.
It's crazy.
But on the lighter side of all this terrible, disgusting, miserable news, there is some pockets of opportunity through all of this. Maybe you can help explain a few of these things. 'Cause I know that the market's been kind of going up and down with this thing, and I know some industries are crashing, some are thriving right now.
Yeah, man.
What do you think would be the best way for someone who is looking to get into investing, they want to get into that shit right now?
It's a good question, man. I think because things are so volatile right now, there's so much like fucking just uncertainty, and I think the main thing you need to think about are two things. One, save some bread, and what I mean by save some bread is like you honestly should have been saving a while ago, but if you haven't, you should save some money based also on your circumstance. If you know you don't have as much job security, my nigga, you definitely need to save some money. Don't even think about investing right now. But if you have somewhat of a job security and you know you got some kind of income coming in, what I would recommend is to start like investing your money. And what I mean by that, when I say that, you ask like how can people kind of get involved in the market? It is literally the easiest time to invest in history because like you could literally do that shit on your phone, on an app. Sign up for Robinhood, sign up for Stash, Wealthfront, all these other robo investors or whatever you want to do. Literally just put your money in the market. And when I say in the market, I'm talking about stocks. I'm talking mainly about like index funds or mutual funds where you're literally just, even if it's like $5, put some kind of money in there because you're pretty much getting everything at a discount right now, right? So this is how I kind of explain it to people. If you say, for example, you go in the supermarket, right? And before, Charmin used to be like, I don't know, let's just say it was like $5 a fucking pack of six, right? Versus now it's like $10 a pack of six. When would you rather have like bought Charmin? You rather buy Charmin when it's like $5 a pack of six, right? So like right now with the stock market, a lot of companies are like volatile because people don't know what the fuck is going on. So people are kind of panicking. So the stock prices are dropping and rising, but for the most part, they're pretty cheaper than they were. So this is a good time to basically buy shit on sale, if that makes any sense.
So let's say I've been investing for the past 2 years or so, past year, and I see the markets are crashing and stuff. Should I pull my money out before we have a full blown stock crash? If I think that it's gonna crash within the next 3 months, 6 months, something like that.
Big no. Do not. I can't. If there's anything y'all get from this fucking shit, is do not pull your money out of the fucking market. What you can do is, and I'll get back to that. What you can do is reallocate your stock portfolio, and I explain that a little bit as well. The reason why I say do not pull your money out is because, one, if you pull your money out, you're losing money. Because think about it, you bought, like, let's just say you bought Apple for like $200. It wasn't like that, but just giving easy numbers so we can make sense of it. Say you bought Apple for $200, and Apple went down 100, and now Apple's $150. If you take your money out, you obviously just lost like $50. But if you keep putting more money in the long run, Apple's gonna go up. So in the long run, when I say the long run, I mean anywhere from like 5 years and above. So you put your money in the market, it should not be a fucking short period of time. It should be aiming. Don't even think about that shit. Just leave it for at least 5 years. It's also tax efficient to do so. That's a whole different episode. There's a bunch of different reasons why you want to invest in long term and not like day trade or day trade and shit like that. Okay, so put your money in there because you're gonna in the long run you're gonna be gaining more money. And you're not losing out on money. So you're basically just buying everything on sale, and you're gonna compound your shit over time. So yeah, and what I also mean by reallocating your stock portfolio is the whole concept of investing, not just in stocks, anything really in life. You always heard our parents say, don't put all your chips in one basket. That's literally fucking smart because you want to be as diverse as possible and put your shit in a bunch of different companies, right? So if you're investing, you want to be able to put your money in different companies in different sectors. Don't put all your money in like the tech companies. So don't just have like Google and Apple. This is a good time to be able to reallocate your shit because we know some of the industries that are like are cheap right now that we know are gonna survive. For example, the airline industry. Bruh, it's common sense. Like it's cheap as fuck right now, but we know for a fact we can't live without the fucking airline industry. And so it's probably a good idea for you to move some of your money in there. Oil's not a bad one. Move your money in some tech and move your money in some health. Move your money around so it's like basically evenly spread. So you're like mitigating some of the risk of your shit tanking.
All right. Just fucking answered all my damn questions. That's some sound ass advice. Shit, take it. Yeah. Fuck with that.
Actually, also like so for example, like what I'm personally doing is like I think Drew, you and we had this conversation. So I mean I know you're just asking for the sake of people, but dude, like index funds, oh my shit. Just fucking throw your money in index funds, mutual funds, ETFs maybe, but index funds are like an easy way to kind of get started.
What's the difference between index fund, mutual fund, and ETF? ETF is exchange traded funds, something like that.
Yeah. So ETFs are honestly like a little more like I don't mess with ETFs too much, but it's basically the same concept as an index fund. It's just electronically traded, which is also kind of similar to an index fund. But the reason why I personally prefer index funds is because index funds, like ETFs are so new compared to like index funds and mutual funds, and index funds have been proven to like be fucking on par with the market, if not outperform it. It depends on what index fund you fucking invest in. And for like to kind of get down to basis too, when we say index fund, mutual fund, blah blah blah, like these are basically just groups of stocks. So it's like if you think about an index, right? An index is something you track. Like an index, say for example, we track the S&P 500. It's just tracking the biggest 500 companies in the United States, right? So that would be the S&P 500. You might have like I don't know S&P 30. You might have an index that tracks just healthcare like stocks, or an index for literally anything. They're just literally a group or a basket of stocks. So think about it like if we say like a tech index could have stocks like Google, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, blah blah blah, and all that stuff would be like one index fund tracking all those companies. Index funds are not managed by a human being. They're pretty much just managed by like an algorithm and computers and shit. And so it keeps the cost low for people, and it's pretty much easy to kind of invest into it. When you invest into it, you're automatically just diversifying your portfolio by doing so, because you're not just putting all your money in just one company. It's a bunch of fucking different companies split out in fractions, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
Mutual funds are pretty much actively managed, so that means there's a nigga pretty much picking and choosing your stocks, And by doing so, because it's a person doing it, they're gonna charge you more shit for it. So my way to go would definitely be either ETFs or index funds. Like I said, I personally like index funds more just because I feel like it's tracked. Is historically, there's more time on it. ETFs are not bad; they're definitely good. But index funds, what I know the best, and I definitely recommend that personally.
And they have index funds for like basically anything and everything you could think of.
Literally,
Like I know they got like some weed index funds for like all the marijuana companies
yeah,
and shit like that. They got them for all the tech, and then, like the way they're distributed, each fund is different. So like one fund might have 30% Facebook and 20% Amazon. Another one
mm-hmm.
might have 50% Amazon and 19% Facebook and other
Exactly.
things like that. So you really gotta like definitely do your research before you start throwing your money in places.
Mm-hmm.
But once you throw it, intend to leave it.
Facts.
That shit ain't going nowhere. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. But the trend itself is overall growth. So
Yep.
this is a fucking everything's on sale. It's a great time to get in.
Facts. And that's the thing too, right? Because like I think when it comes to investing, the biggest thing that anyone would ever tell you is like you must be crazy to think you could fucking time the market. And what we mean by that is like you must be crazy to think you know when the low is gonna hit, so you want to buy low. If you constantly invest your money over the long period, that's what we call dollar cost averaging. So basically, you're averaging your money over the long period, and that's basically just averaging your dollars. So you're not you're taking some of the lumps, you're also taking the highs, and over the long run, that's going to be average into like the trend that you just mentioned, Drew, is going to be all the way overall going up. Don't try to fucking time the market. You gonna fuck yourself over. Don't do it. Like
Take it from a former day trader who lost out on 20 grand in the cryptocurrency because I was trying to time the market and shit. 8,000 on
don't
Amazon, man.
don't do that shit. I don't care if you put on like $5, and I literally mean like it, dude. It's like go on your app right now, open up Robinhood, or even if you don't feel comfortable picking your own stocks, go open up like Stash, Wealthfront.
Stash is like the best, like you have zero knowledge of finance or stocks at all, and it's so user friendly. We're not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. I would just wouldn't give you shit that I haven't used myself.
Right.
Stash I fucks with because it's fucking my grandma could use that shit easily.
Facts.
It's super intuitive for everybody who uses it.
Yeah. And yeah, so I think robo investors is also not a bad way to go, especially if you want to just open yourself up to like investing into the stock market. I think it's a great opportunity for you to be able to do so. You could put some money aside and think about your retirement over the long run. You saving like at least like $10 or $100 or whatever every month. Just save consistently, and within the next 30 years, you're gonna be making bank because you're getting your money that's multiplying over 7%. So that's lit. What I also what I also kind of want to talk about a little bit is like I kind of want to ask you a question, like because maybe I am just like a little pessimistic. I personally feel like everybody right now is like super optimistic in the market. Like I feel like we saw the market kind of crash a little bit. Like I think it was like around like March 12th or something like that. It was like when it's really hit bad. And things are kind of going back up now. So there's still some good deals on, but like a lot of things are kind of going back up, trending back up. And I'm like, why why is this happening? Like why do you think people are optimistic in the markets right now?
So a lot of the people that are in the markets now or are making the biggest moves in the markets were too young to be in the markets when we had that crash in 2008. And they understand like we had a recession. They were alive during the recession. Some of them might have even worked first, second job during the recession and shit like that. But they don't really understand that level of uncertainty that our parents felt and like people who were our age in 2008 felt when literally the sky was fucking falling and shit like that. Because we have we have that hindsight of, okay, things will crash, but they get better. And we're so focused on the better that we forget about that climb and like how much work goes into that climb and like how much crow you have to eat before you can start being normal again. So we're overdue for a correction in basically everything, which I think the coronavirus came at like, a perfect time.
Right?
Everybody would like I always say everyone needs to get their ass kicked like once every 5 years or something, just to humble yourself, just to remind yourself that you're human, and the entire planet just needs it's time for an ass kicking. It's time to get your ass beat, take some lumps, regroup, refocus, start from start from the basics again and build up from there.
That's a good point. And I think you hit, like, that's a good point because I feel like we were even talking, like, we have never really known a bear market. Like, meaning when we were coming up, everything was going up, right? So, like, we were we were finding jobs easier than anybody else. You know, like, we remember the crash of 2008, but not, like, the struggle that really went into it. I
I got my
just,
first job like the next year, like
yeah,
at
like,
14.
easy as
It was-
hell. Like,
yeah.
you know, so it's like my thing is, I think people are kind of crazy to think that, you know, we just basically put the economy on pause and there's going to be no repercussions that come out of that. Like, we basically just, and like you said, we're due for a correction, right? So if you think about a recession, typically it's a short-term cycle thing. Happens about every 8 to 10 years, right? Since 2008, we've been up consistently for about like 10 to 12 years, just going up. So everything's been great. Everything's been kumbaya. Everybody's borrowing a lot of money. It's a lot of fucking debt. Countries are borrowing money. People are borrowing money. Everybody owes everybody. And we put the fucking economy on pause. And now people kind of want their fucking bread back. And we think nothing's gonna happen. Like, it's like, yo, you don't have to be a finance or like, I'm not a finance guy really. I'm more of an economy guy. So I look at things from like a macro scale. But I'm like, even common sense, like just being street smart should kind of tell you like, nah, B, I feel like this shit gonna be a problem. And it's not just like one sector of the world. It's a chain effect that's like linking all these countries together. So supply chains are fucked. Markets are gonna be feeling that shit. People are not getting paid. People are in a lot of fucking debt. Like the U.S. right now, like we're fucked. I mean, like literally, our debt is about like, if I'm not mistaken, this last time I checked, is about like 107% of fucking GDP. Like, yo, like that's like literally saying if you made that's like literally saying if you made $100 every month, you owe somebody $107 every month. It's like, bro, like you know, like how are you going? You could pay that shit slowly, but there's interest on that shit, so you're fucking yourself over.
And then next month you still got to pay that 107.
Yes,
It ain't going nowhere.
it's not going any fucking way. Like, I don't know. It's just I'm not trying to be pessimistic. Everybody stay the fuck calm, but make smart decisions. There, like you said, Drew, there are opportunities. Like, for example, one thing I'm also doing right now is like in the U.S., student loans are on pause. And what I mean by that is like they're not charging you interest until September. So what you can do, and I say this with strict caution, everything that we say on the show is not investing advice or anything like that. It's really just what we're doing is just for entertainment purposes, really. But what I'm personally gonna do, Drew, is
I don't know about y'all.
I don't know about y'all. If there's an opportunity for me to not make student loan payments, and you have to double check your loans because I think it's just government loans and some private companies maybe, but I have government loans, so I'm good. But I'm gonna just take that money instead and put it somewhere else that I know I could get like 7% on it. Just fucking saying, as opposed to me paying off that debt. Now, what I think you could do to be safe is you could pay your minimum balance. Like, say for example, your student loans are $500 a month. I hope the fuck not. If say yeah, I hope the let's say $100 a month. Let's make it a little lighter. Let's say you owe $100 a month, which is also unrealistic, but you owe $100 a month. What you can do is you could pay that $100 a month, and it would just all go towards your principal. And then basically no interest will be accrued until September. So you have a chance to basically either knock down all your debt, or you can also put that $100 somewhere else and get 7% on it, or whatever percentage. So
I just had this exact conversation a few days ago. And I was asking one of my mentors, I was like, yeah, I'm doing my budgeting. And I sold my car, got a new car, and I got that stimulus check, so I got a little cash I'm sitting on.
Y'all get that shit foreign too? Okay.
Dog.
Damn, no,
I got my shit before you did.
Damn.
I got my shit on the 12th, bruh. But no, I was like, damn, do I want to invest? I could throw all this into something I know is going to be booming in a little bit, or do I want to start paying off take a chunk out of my debt? And just based off of my average interest rates and shit, it'd be more financially wise for me to pay my debt because the money I save from the interest rates, I'd be hard pressed to match that with the market in that time frame. So that's where my stimulus went to, Yeah, well, all to my debt. And my car is going all to my debt for my new car, which is expensive as fuck.
That's not a bad strategy though, right? Because like you have to know your personal situation, and like you made the right call just by looking at the numbers and saying, boom, I feel like this might be a less risk averse situation, a move for me, and it makes the most mathematical sense for me too. Like, and so they're
I'm
definitely
tight though. Cause I could have had so much ripple, dog.
bro. And
I was gonna literally put all my eggs in one basket.
don't do that. Yeah, don't do that shit. Don't do that. And I don't care if you got like $100. Try to spread that $100 as much as you can. That's what I'm trying to say.
Word.
But yeah, so you can either pay down your debts because like interest rates are really low. So like also I'm curious to see what the fuck happens with the housing market. I'm kind of like keep my eye on that because I don't know exactly what's gonna happen, but we'll see. We'll play by it. I just feel like there's gonna be a bigger crash if y'all haven't gone from what the fuck I've been saying. These are all just speculation. No one knows what the fuck the markets are gonna do. No one has any idea. I don't care if you are Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is probably the smartest dude, including with like Ray Dalio. These are guys that I like strictly listen to, but nobody really knows, and they'll be the first ones to tell you. But I think, and a lot of people see this, a lot of economists seem to be leaning towards this, is that like, one, we're already kind of in a recession. Two, this shit is most likely not going to be a flash in the pan kind of event. It's going to be a lot worse. So definitely think about your financial situation. I would say the first thing you need to do is save. If you know there's no job security,
Save your money.
Save your bread. It's going to get bad. That's what I think. I think it's going to get bad. Make sure you got like 3 to 6 months rent and all the expenses and shit like that if you can. And if you got some extra cash laying around, just fucking put that shit in places that makes sense. Like, think about it. Back in 2008, people were saying, I wish I had the money to be able to invest. I wish I had the money to be able to invest. The time is here, and this is now. But it's funny how like people get emotional with money if you don't want to do that shit. So take advantage of it. There's pros and cons to the situation, but hopefully we all come out of it making the best decisions and learn something good out of this.
Can't say it better myself. Save your money and wash your hands.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that shit. Word. All right, well, I think that's what we got for today. Mask on, wash your hands, make smart financial decisions based on your circumstance, and take advantage of what's out there for you. With that being said, Drew, I think it's a wrap, man. Thank you for joining. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all can catch us here on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. Tell your friends and family about us. Hopefully this shit sparks some kind of change in the community and we are able to inspire other people and they learn from it. So with that being said, we'll catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Deuces.